finding access to waves, getting in the habit of never putting ourselves in danger, and playing survival. Right, just never offering a target for the enemy team. Right.
Yep.
The the next transition is what to do in the mid game. All right. Now, normally you have, as this map has, we have a T and M jungler, mid lane, AD carry, and support. Right. Do you know why they're positioned the way they are?
No.
There's a couple factors. For one, this turret. Let me switch colors. Do you know what's different about these two turrets compared to the other ones?
The other ones take less damage while the bot ones take more damage.
Yeah, these ones essentially take full damage. The quote unquote solo lane turrets have fortifications that are stronger. They resist damage more until, do you know what time?
5 minutes?
Actually, you know what? I believe they changed this, and I should go look it up right now too. Let's
Hmm.
do turrets. Actually, you're probably not going to see my screen because I did do the application. Let me share you my screen instead. Okay, so you can see where I'm on turrets right now.
Yes.
All right, turret details. Let me see. I want to find out passive health, bulwarks. Do you know what the bulwarks are?
That basically time every turret has like one of their places where they gain a bunch of armor and MR for a bit.
Exactly, and each stack amplifies the effect, and it's amplified by the number of people who are collecting the plate
Yeah.
bounty, and it gets doubled if it's more than two. So that's why the play for hitting turrets is kill two plates together, drop the herald, finish the third plate. It takes a little bit longer, but that's the 10 seconds that you need to drop the herald anyways. And then by the time you're done, herald jumps and it deals true damage and it kills the rest of the turret. Right? You've probably seen that play. You're familiar with it, right?
Yeah.
It took a while, and I mean a long time, because Herald's been around for a long time and Plate's been around for a long time for people to realize that that's how it worked, and they would just drop Herald. It's like no, no. Even at pro, people were doing it wrong. Let me see. First 5 minutes of the game. Top and mid outer turrets receive a fortification bonus. So good job, you had it. First 5 minutes. Um, the as far as where people are, all right. So these turrets are weaker. If you had one person down here, for example, it'd be much easier for enemy team to get more turret damage on here. The other thing is that this spawns at 5, this spawns at 8. Okay? And largely, the turrets is the main reason that's keeping people here. But having two people bottom means that you have more access to the dragon pit. Okay?
Yeah.
The other key moments are 14 minutes into the game, 5 minutes after dragon, and 8 minutes after herald. You'll notice that all of these kind of correspond more or less around the 15-minute mark, which is also like specifically when plates are going down. By 15 minutes, you're looking at the next herald is spawning soon, probably. The third dragon is probably coming up. The map has probably changed. It might have been a slow dragon take, but depending per game, it could be at 16 minutes at the third dragon spawning, or it could be at 15 minutes at the second dragon spawning, depending on when people are taking it. But it largely has to do with how the bot lane is going. Okay. The other things to note about the lanes, the two long lanes, and you know this just the way they are. There's way more space to get ganked for people to come into on fights. It's very shallow in mid lane relatively, and this is why you have like a wave clear champion here. It also is worth noting that this turret is the most important one in the game. Okay, this is why you put mid laners, people that have large amounts of wave clear and specifically ranged wave clear, have to go mid to keep this turret up. Also, they have the defenses of the turret behind them. Very hard to gank mid if you're playing intelligently. All right, bot lane, it's more about lane wave states. I mean, all the lanes have to deal with wave states, but your jungler might come to help you get a push, break a freeze, things like this. Mid lane needs to worry about all the nonsense that's going on with junglers, right? Like a jungler might do something like this, and they're constantly passing through mid. Bot lane, they would actually have to take an.
Did you restart your stream really quick? It stopped for some reason.
Oh, sure.
Thank you. It's good now.
Okay, so this is what I had just drawn. Junglers might be doing something like this, and I'd stopped it right here, where they might be pathing through mid a couple times on their way to scuttles. They're always near mid lane, whereas getting to bottom requires an active choice to come down here. This provides a certain amount of safety for your marksman. Okay? Once either of these turrets breaks, that safety's gone. Because if you break their turret, you're going to be forced to push a little bit too far up. It looks like it just crashed again. I'm gonna do share
Yeah,
the.
actually.
I'm gonna do share the application.
Okay.
Once this turret's gone, you're gonna be forced to push up further than you're comfortable, because there's not a turret just rebounding the waves. Okay. And if this turret's gone, then you've got nothing to stop enemy team from coming in behind you to gank you. Right?
Mm-hmm.
So if a turret dies, condition number 1, you immediately migrate as a marksman, okay? And you migrate to mid lane because it offers you the safety that it does.
Yep.
Okay? The other thing that it's doing, since it's largely and very often happening around 15 minutes in the game, and all of these things are happening, it's sort of like a convergence on the map at 15 minutes. There's so much happening that you want the support on the map, which means we need to get him out of bot lane and get them to mid so that they can cover this area. Sorry, that was very messy. We want the support to be able to come over and guard this whole area. You with me?
Yeah.
Can you still see my screen? It looks like it crashed on.
No, I
Okay.
see it.
Okay. Good. You want the support to be able to offer things. So we're going to make this a pattern. Unfortunately, we can only really do it once per game to like make this swap. But the two conditions that we have are 15 minutes as our, you know, rule of, our generic rule, but it's not hard and fast. If a turret goes down first, or if dragons can be spawning at let's say the dragon's spawning at 14, then you actually want to come to mid by 13:30, because that way you're in the safer lane. Your support can be with you and be more relevant for the dragon. Or if Herald is coming up right at like 16:30 again, you want to be mid so that the support can come help with this. In theory, you're helping as well, but you're helping by pushing the wave, which creates its own imbalance and protection just by having a buffer right here, right? If your wave is up, you're going to see anyone who's coming past this area, for example. If enemies are trying to get towards the pit, you're going to see them. You might even see them coming this way because the vision range is long enough that you have like a melee right here. It'll see people coming through here. Okay? In previous metas, especially like at Worlds, Jhin and Ashe were big picks because they could just sit here and farm, and then they could take one step to the side and then, or not even take a step to the side, but they could be relevant in either direction at long range, right? Because they're so weak relative to everybody else, right? You're looking at level 7 with maybe a completed item, whereas your top laners are level potentially 9 with completed items, and they just absolutely annihilate you. More than at any other point in the game, fighters are going to beat marksmen right at this stage, which is why we put you in such a safe place. Okay, you help, but you help from a safe distance. Got it?
Yeah.
For the rest of the game, and like we've already said that we're going to prioritize your life. For the rest of the game, it's every decision you make needs to be made through the filter of do I survive this? Right? Whereas when we did some training on Shen when you were swapping lanes, it was okay for you to trade your life for enemy marksman or mid laner. That's not true as marksman, and especially once you get to 3 full items, your life is the most important thing in the entire game. Okay? 1 item, we play for safety right here. 2 items, we're looking to help, but again, we're not the strongest players on the map. Now you individually are a stronger player than most of the people you're playing against, but you're largely playing for to be safe. And at 3 items, you need to preserve your life above everything. All right, you're going to maintain damage uptime at 3 items, but you have to be in a position where your teammates can always help you. Okay?
Yeah.
So largely today is just about decision making. So we're going to do everything in game. It's all going to be about where to be, how to position yourself, how to be in the right spot at the right time. Now there's a little bit of a caveat. There's two exceptions for solo queue. All right, one is, well, they both arc around mid laner not moving, but one is you get dumpstered. Okay, if enemy bot lane, let's say they bring Twisted Fate, Shen, Elise, and a aggressive bot lane, and they're just diving you nonstop, right? And if they crush you, then it's okay to freeze right here. Okay? And you're going to do it without your support. This is a controversial opinion, but I am 100% positive it is the right play until you're strong enough, because you just can't stand up to anybody because 2 of the other people are solo laners. The other person's a jungler who has better early game than you, and the other people are the lane that just got so far ahead of you that if you go and match them, they'll just keep on doing it to you. So this is the one time that you can freeze. Okay? The other exception is there's going to be some numbnuts in solo queue that are going to say get GTFO of mid, and they won't move. And if they're not going to if they're going to stay no matter what, then we accept our loss and we leave. But it's important, if they are mid and we're coming out of base, that we go mid and we ask them to rotate. Okay? I know you don't like doing this. Again, for organized play, this will just happen automatically, and you're gonna get people that don't want to move. And it's like, okay, if they don't want to move, then it's fine. But definitely don't just go bottom because you see them here. Like, go up, catch a wave with them. Say, mid, can you rotate bot? Something like that. Give them the opportunity to leave. Because this right here, this is optimal. You want this path. Sorry. You want to get mid. Okay?
Yeah.
Alright. Ready? Quick quiz. Why is bot lane bot?
What?
Why is bot lane bot? Why do you have 2 champions bottom?
Like the reason you gave me, or?
Yeah, I'm quizzing you on what we just went over.
Oh, okay. Turrets die fast in the bot lane, and you get better dragon control.
Turrets die faster, and you get good dragon control. Why do you
Yeah.
want to be mid lane in the mid game?
Safer spot, and you have more access to the map.
Yeah, and specifically your teammate. Which teammate in particular are we trying to unlock?
Support.
Support. Supports are strongest in the game right when they finish their support item. All right, they're just 1,000 gold ahead of every. Well, not ahead, but they get 1,000 gold for free. For the rest of the game, they don't get that passive income. They're as strong as they're ever going to be, and it's as important as it's ever going to be for them to be unleashed at minute 15. Okay. What are some factors that might change when we go mid?
There's an objective coming up, like the dragon.
Yeah. If it Okay, that's one. Dragon is the least reason because you have access from bot lane for the same thing, right? You could go this way or this way. But yeah, this is one. This is the other. Or people are trying to use the Rift Herald and you want to be in the right spot at the right time to defend your most important turret. Okay.
Okay.
Um, what if laning phase was very passive, no turrets went down, people took Dragon late at 13 minutes and Herald late at 12 minutes?
Stay in lane.
That's the time you can stay in lane, all right? And then
Yeah.
basically you're saying at 17:30, half a minute before Dragon spawns, and well, in the example I gave, there won't be a second Herald, but let's say Herald's spawning at 19 and this is up at 18, for example, then it's okay to stay bottom until 17, a minute before these things happen.
Okay.
All right. One more hard and fast rule. And I have to share my screen again. Sorry, that cut off. One hard, fast rule. This area of the map stops existing at 19 minutes and 30 seconds. Essentially at 20. Okay?
Okay.
At 20 minutes, I never want you south or east of the red buff, dragon, blue buff. Really, it's actually an even sharper angle.
Okay.
Because this area belongs to solo laners that can still kill you. It's also too far away from Baron. Alright? So at 20 minutes, no matter what, even if mid laner's staying mid, you are still going here. Because if you're bot lane and enemy jungler is smart, they will say, bot lane is bot. Let's go take... Support's probably nearby. Let's go take Baron. Okay?
Yeah.
So for notes, the things I want you to do is rotate mid at 15. We'll say rotate by 15 and put an asterisk by it because we know that number is fluid. But for right now, we're going to try to rotate at 15 minutes without even thinking about it. Okay? And then second part is we never go southeast. And I'm talking the only reason to be down here, you'll notice that my line didn't quite make it to the turrets. If there is a large enemy wave crashing in to your base, you can pick it up. But you don't even go and get it out here if you're missing turrets because you'll die. You might die. Make the mid laner go do it. Make someone with teleport go do it. They clear it so much faster. Jinx clears it as fast as any marksman, but it's too much time off the map where enemy team can engage on you and you're the main source of damage and you're not there. Okay?
Yeah, gotcha.
Okay, good. We'll mention another point about rotating for heralds, but for today, 15 minutes we go mid, 20 minutes we stop going southeast ever, and we're going to be working on the positioning and team fights. All right. Why don't you share your screen? Let's jump in a it's on standing 5, right?
I'm on 74 right now.
Standing 4. All right, that's fine. As long as it's not the main. You can jump into a game. We're going to keep on working on the trading patterns that we've been doing. And we're going to see what we get. And we're going to work on these rotations. Have you been playing still all or mostly Jinx?
I've been slowly trying to like just apply the idea of poking to other champions.
Perfect. That's exactly what I was going to have you do next, is start experimenting with which other champions can and can't do it.
I haven't found a champion who can't do it yet, really.
Say it again.
I haven't found a champion who can't do it yet.
Exactly. And it's largely only in certain 2-on-2 matchups where you're not going to risk it.
Mm-hmm.
And you're more looking to penalize them for poking you.
Yeah.
Right? If they make a mistake, you penalize it. But like, you're never going to step out in the open against a Samira Nautilus. Right? You have to be much more careful about that, or a Draven. Just Dravens in particular. If Draven's about to catch an axe, there's maybe a window to poke him. If he's got his axe and his animation ready, you never make that trade because he hits you way harder than you hit him.
Right.
That was quick.
Children play this game.
Yeah, it's true. You can't filter that.
Yeah.
There were people that that would change their name to Avengers Endgame. Spoilers. And
No way.
those accounts all got banned. They're
That's
like,
great.
I mean, or like suspended or whatever, because it's like you literally can't stop that. You can't like have mute all on. You can't do anything. You're gonna see the name. And then I very much disagree with this. They banned, or they name changed and suspended any person that had Corona in their name starting last April,
Oh wow.
because it was such a sensitive topic, and people they were basically sick of getting both sides of the debate. You had people that were like, "This is a hoax. I don't want this person like spreading this bullshit. This is whatever inflammatory." Also, a lot of people were making very inappropriate names, like whatever, Corona killed your mom or something, whatever, like awful things like that, right? Which those ones should be. But then there's like, Corona is a surname in Spanish speaking families. It's not particularly common, but it exists. And there's like a petition that went around. This guy's like, here's my proof of identification, here's my name, it sucks, but it's Corona, and I want this to be my handle. You have like no right to tell me not to. Anyways, they didn't let him.
Oh, yeah. It sucks
Anyways,
actually.
I don't think they should have censored the name Corona. I don't think it matters unless it's like a nasty thing.
Oh yeah, it does.
All right, bot lane. How's it gonna play out?
Uh, gonna suck.
Who has more damage at level 1?
They do.
They do. All right, because of the Swain pull.
Ah, thankfully.
Who? How about level 2?
They do.
It's closer, all right, because then you have better CC than they do, and Rakan with double shields, and then Swain is awful after he casts his 2 spells. Anytime you play against a Swain, I want you to think about dominating level 3 through 5.
Gotcha.
Level 6, he gets playable, and then when he finishes Landry's Anguish, he's good. But until that point, he's the worst combatant in the bot lane.
Okay.
Do you remember our lessons on slow pushes from top lane?
Yeah, I remember them.
Okay.
Just not old enough to actually use that information.
As an AD carry, there are some times where I don't want you to kill all the minions in a wave, and I may say just kill the backline and then rejoin your team. And the purpose is twofold. One, it's to make your wave get to a certain point and not bigger. And for 2, it's because you can clear the backline in 2 auto attacks and never really present a target to the enemy team. Right, you hit the wave a little bit, you come back mid, now your wave is pushing and your team is pushing mid while your Tryndamere is pushing bottom, for example. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Let me see your rune page.
Oh, okay.
You've been doing Triumph, not Presence of Mind.
Hmm?
I'm at the beginning.
Uh,
You were doing Conquer and Presence of Mind.
Hey, presence of mind, yeah. Conquer I don't like.
Okay.
Doesn't feel as good as that massive attack speed.
Yep. Makes sense. All right, how's this lane gonna play out?
Really? Volkov's just gonna win the lane for me. And all I have to do is the last hit. Actuality, it's gonna hurt.
The every time that you get the sense that Vel'Koz wants to poke, you should have freedom to step up because they're going to be so focused on dodging the Vel'Koz spells that you should be able to get a free hit in as well. And if Vel'Koz is doing his job, he's going to do that to answer every time that enemies try to step up on you as well. Of course, Vel'Koz goes by himself into the river. Good. Careful not to take too much minion aggro after that.
Work.
Good. Good job using the rocket for increased poke range on the minions. Good. Very nice. You should be attacking. You should be attacking. All right, so that's
Whoops.
Vel'Koz's
Sorry.
mistake, not yours. But I want you to punish them for punishing him. If you don't, it becomes it's going to become a 2v1 lane.
I will try to make up for my sports mistakes.
You know, it's not, you guys are playing together more than anything.
I don't think we are.
Remember.
I never see that as support.
No,
Or
we're retraining our mind. The new you believes in your support.
New me doesn't believe in support.
There we go. He's clawed you back in. He's good.
Using all of his pots.
Great job. Good job using the rockets. So good. Dude, fantastic. You're doing so much better using the rockets to hit the minions for poke.
It's not on purpose.
Nice fast buy. Don't sell biscuits again. Yeah, they patched it out.
What do you mean they patched it out?
You used to be able to sell biscuits for a decent amount of gold. Now you can only sell them for 5 gold.
Oh, when they changed that?
This last Wednesday.
Oh, I thought it was always 5 gold.
No, pro players would actually use that rune as a way to get like a better shop in at 6 minutes. Yeah, you had to be very precise. But if you're like, I know I'm gonna have exactly 37 CS at this moment, and plus these biscuits, well, I can actually afford to buy, this item as opposed to that one. Good job fighting off the minions. That was good. So you probably saved the Vel'Koz there by presenting a threat. Because, by all means, they should have been trading on you. When you get a chance, tab for biscuits. Or a tab to see how many potions they have, I mean. Vel'Koz is out. You can actually fight him there. You had enough minions. They know you're by yourself, though. Good outplays. All right, I want you to get rid of these extra auto attacks, though, okay? All you're doing right now is making the lane push up into a more dangerous position. Vel'Koz has him. Don't worry about it. You stay alive. Great job. All you. Now, you won that because of the amount of minions you had. You do have to be careful. Good job. You do have to be careful those extraneous auto attacks that you put in there. That, like, for example, the cannon you hit twice to last hit. Each of those pushes your lane out in a moment where you're 1v2. So you're going to be
Was I
putting
supposed
yourself
to
in
do
a
that?
dangerous. Hmm?
I remember before you told me like for every auto attack that you give off, I have to give off 2 more.
That's when you're fighting at level 1 and 2 for the wave advantage.
Oh, okay.
Right? Like you need to make sure that you're dinging 2 at the same time or just before them. You don't want to push any harder than that because then the wave just disappears under their turret. And you don't want to be any further behind than that or behind them at all because because then they'll use their level advantage to flex you out. So it's good that you're thinking about that, but remember it's less about this stage, more about the first couple levels. It's still a little bit true, but right now you're much more comfortable. Like, we'd love to keep the minion wave here. They're gankable and you're not. And they can't, like, even step up to trade with you because you're huge compared to them. Dude, that Mystic Shock just bent around that minion to hit you.
Yeah, I figured it did. I don't.
You guys were on literally the same diagonal and it hit you and not it. It's because Jinx has a big booty, you know? That's the opposite of what's true. All right, play a little more passively while Vel'Koz is getting a ward. Yep, now you can start trading again because she's got a good angle. Good. You playing aggressively allows the Vel'Koz to get into a better position. Just get out, 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 out. Let him die.
Oh, oh. Why?
That one step forward cost you.
I figured you were gonna yell at me if I didn't go and help the support though.
No, 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 no. So in like 2v2s, that's fine. This isn't a 2v2. You're getting ganked, and there's a Shen on their team. Right? So things have changed.
When a
At
two
this
v two
point,
help the support, and then when it's a gank, I can go back to usual, right?
well, when you're laning and it's 2v2 and you know it's 2v2, it's much more fixed variables, right? There's less to like track and less things that can threaten you. Now you have ultimates, you have solo laners on level spikes that are way above yours, right? You're winning, so you guys are fairly large, but enemy solos should be 8 if not 9 by now. Maybe they're lower just because of you guys crushing it in every lane, but we don't want to give them that out. All right, I want you to cultivate a slower push here, all right? You're gifting the enemies a favorable lane state. You want to just push them under turret?
Yeah, and then poke them out.
Okay.
Because we have a Vel'Koz, you know.
Vel'Koz can still do that job from the middle of the lane. The truth is, you're Jinx Vel'Koz. If you guys get ganked, you're both dead.
But Lilia was topside.
Okay, that's fine. As long as you're aware of that and making a plan based on that, then it's okay.
Yeah. I saw her with the ward, so I figured, yeah, why not just go full shove it in?
Okay. Back out, back out, back out. You outplayed him. You have to wait for your help. Great job. Good moving there. Just leave. It's okay. We missed part of a wave, and that's fine. Great evasive maneuvers. Vel'Koz luckily is enormous and just ripped through them there. These are the sort of things that while you're better than your opponents, like you are at this rank, you're going to be able to get away with. Once you start playing other high diamond players, they're going to punish you. Like this Vel'Koz should not even be sitting here. Even if he wants to poke, it's just not worth it. All right, it's okay to push here because we're getting ready to make our rotation and to make our turret play. You do have an opportunity to get 2 rocket shots off before you start minigunning there.
I want to use up the mana.
Careful, play back, play back, play back.
Fine.
We don't need to get this immediately because we don't know where Lily is coming from.
Peace.
Now you do.
Yeah, but she died earlier.
Okay. Don't even present the target. Don't even present the target. Go get raptors or anything else. Red buff. You want to use rocket on the small ones first? Yeah. Good. You're 4 CS higher than you ever were before. All right, shove and then disappear. They can take this wave and top scuttle. And if no one shows up top with Trundle, you can even help him to take that turret. Or to dive the Shen. Stop using mechanics on the Scuttle Crab. Just look around the map. Start moving back, yep. So, I mean, it feels like you want to use mechanics for everything. A Scuttle Crab by yourself on the map like that, when there's a lot going on, we definitely just want to right-click and start roaming around. Your red buff is on him, yeah. Good job. Just leave. Just leave. Nothing to gain here. We already got the turret. That's a window that you could have used to shop. Cannon minion coming in. 4 people on enemy teams there. We don't need to. We don't need to use our skill expression. Let's use our brain expression. Pink ward, or red ward, and component. Same thing on the base. I want you to stop using mechanics on the base, okay? Just get to right click on the edge and start looking around the map if you're waiting for health to regen. So this guy's doing the same thing. It's like he's begging them to outplay him. All right. Now, he is huge. He can outplay them, and it was still very, very close. And in his mind, right, he got the huge dopamine hit off of that, right? But the risk of that, it was a sub coin flip play, and he would have given them a huge shutdown. I believe he still has a shutdown gold.
Yeah.
400 gold, yeah. Be safe, be safe. There you go. Good job. Way to move your camera. Beautiful job panning the camera. Very nice, dude. Be safe, be safe. Yep. There's a scuttle you can take. Unless, all right, so right click on this. Now just follow your team. Look at your team. See if they need you. If they need you, you come. If they don't, then you. All right. Here, they're pushing up. You need to join. You need to join. Next wave is there. We can test, right? While there's no wave, we don't need to join them and just stare at enemies. But while there's a wave, they should be giving it to you. Leave that. All right. I was going to say leave that last caster alive. It'll gum the wave up just a little bit so that they have to leave their base to clear it. And it just gives you a better return situation, a better rebound. Move up with. All right, clear this wave and then hover the raptors. If you see any threat, though, you back away. Do it quickly, yep. Leave the last melee. Not worth it. Careful. If she realizes that she can lullaby you, it's trouble. Good. All right, step out. Ooh, careful with that bend. All right, that was risky. That guy's burning. Join. Yep, you're good. Watch Shen. You're huge. Windwall's coming up in 4 seconds. Great game, dude. Apart from just two moments where you stepped forward, everything else was great. That's one of the cleanest games I've seen you play. Good job, dude. You've been playing some Ezreal, huh?
Some champions, yeah.
Well, before you said never Ezreal, not Ezreal, never Ezreal, and then he's your most played recently.
Found a build for him that seemed really strong that I wanted to try out.
With Divine Sunderer,
Yeah.
it's bonkers, right?
And
That
then
that
there was MF with another build that I want to try out as well. I don't know, they just seemed really strong, or a lot stronger than Jinx was ever.
they have more spell damage, which always is better early game and worse late game.
Really worse they can?
Misfortune is one of the worst AD carries in the end game. So much of her kit is front loaded into spell damage early, and especially the double up proc. And late game when you don't have reliable double up, you the second hit, if it kills something, you're just not going to get that in a team fight, right? Whereas you get that a lot in laning phase. And then one of her abilities is basically useless. I mean, it's a slow, which is fine. It's not useless, but her ult makes her stop auto attacking, so she just deals less damage than most other champions, unless you're looking at the perfect situation outside of a pit, for example, and getting your ult across the pit.
Would have hate to see the game that I played then. EMF had 30 kills with her build. It
The
was
game that
really
you were,
annoying.
which game? The I don't see it on
I
your list.
think I was playing Ezreal. Can't
Oh, and your
remember.
team, enemy team misfortune.
Yeah, enemy team Misfortune. They had so many kills. 30 of them, and her ultimate just hurt, and I can't figure out what's different between her and mine. I always thought she was a weak champion. Every time I see an MF, they're super strong. I don't get it.
Yeah, it's usually just a solo queue thing that people opt into fights with her, and so she gets, she might snowball. Um, the build, if people have finally figured it out, they should involve man immune. They probably don't use it. They're probably just going straight lethality,
Yeah.
right? But it's kind of like what we were discussing at the end of your top lane days, where I was telling you to buy tier once you didn't have a component for Triforce to build. You remember that?
Yep.
So basically the same thing with Misfortune. Same thing with Kayn in the jungle. Same thing with Ezreal. Honestly, it shouldn't be tier first back. It should be tier after you've bought combat stats. Anyone who ever comes back to lane with tier should get dumpstered on. And it just forces them to play very, very cautiously. But let's see. You're basically going man immune. So you're going tier, finishing Sunder, finishing man immune each game on Ezreal.
It's like the Sunder build with all that on hit stuff really feels really strong, but it needs that mana, and I can't get it with just the mana flow band alone, so I have to go tier.
Oh, you come into lane with tier.
Yeah, like I
That
start first item tier.
gotcha. And you don't find that enemy team is just jumping on you.
If they ever do, then they just lose the fight because Israel level 1 attacks with buff with Conquer.
Yeah. Okay. So you're playing for the Conqueror buff. Yeah, that's really good. Yeah, he can stack up to 5 times. He actually trades a lot better than people realize. But
Yep,
it
I
depends on
remember you
the
said that.
type of engage. If it's a very sticky engage, then it can be problematic. But it
Like
looks like
what?
you're doing well. But again, this is you're playing against some gold players, so
Yeah. I want to try it up against higher tier players soon.
yep. Like even if those guys know to jump on you, they're not gonna be good at it yet. They're gonna make mistakes. They might cancel an auto attack. They won't be weaving. They won't be orb walking. Let me see what Sven does, because Sven is one of the best, or Ruler's probably the best Ezreal player in the world. At least he was 2 years ago. Maybe his mechanics are falling off a little bit.
I want to play Ezreal just to try him out. I'm not going to try to make him one of my staple champions.
Oh, okay. Well, he's the guy that you were playing the most back when we first started talking, because I remember that I had all these ideas about like what the Ezreal build was going to be, and no one was anywhere near that. And they were all messing around with Triforce when it wasn't good for him.
Yeah, I remember.
And then slowly, like, everything started transitioning over. But yeah, this build's really, really strong. Let's see
I want to play a strong champion like that. Like Jinx, she's fine, but she doesn't give that same strength unless you have a team to just be there in front of you.
Well, I mean, her late game scaling is paramount.
Yeah, but
Like,
if you get jumped, then you're done.
it's true. That's why it's actually good for this lesson, for deciding like how to approach this, or like learning how to approach it.
So I don't like Jinx. I want a champion that can fight for themselves without a team.
Yeah.
I
Cool.
don't know what
It's
ADC
Ezreal and Vayne, but
I can't play either of them, so
I've seen you do some pretty cool things with Ezreal, and you're one of the like 100 people in the world that know that aimbot trick.
Israel just I can't make use of his skill shots. Like I miss so many of them.
This guy went W at level 1, so you can go ahead and rip into him. Wait till aftershock goes down. Yeah, you're good. There you go. Another 12 seconds, and you're good. Beautiful. Great job. Now, because it's Karma, and every time that you ever play AD carry with Karma, you have to be extra aggressive. She will get outscaled, but she has an ultimate at level 1, right? So you want to take advantage of these windows. Good job stacking 2 waves, pushing them in. This is perfect. Now they're going to take damage under this. Xayah has no spells after her Q's down. Now, this actually would have been a perfect wave to hold and make it bounce back to you. There's no way that team would ever risk approaching or leaving their turret, or approaching you or leaving their turret. So right now we're just making it easy for the Xayah to get some amount of CS. Now you're still going to punish her, right? And you're going to do a good job with it. Great job. That could have been much easier though, if we just freeze the lane, make it rebound towards us, and then hold it in the middle of the lane. They can never come out to it.
Are they just back at that point?
What's up?
Wasn't they just back?
Good. They always have the option to just back. You may not know it, but they may like back halfway into their lane. They might go into the lane bush. They might go to the Krug's bush. They can just back. By freezing the lane, you're making it their only viable choice. And if they do it, you hold the freeze for two more pushes. Don't approach this. Don't approach this. There's nothing to get here. Just be in XP range of the cannon. Maybe get a W on it. It's not even going to die. You're okay. Let it come to you. Karma should have been on the same plan. We just have to let this wave come back. It's too big. We just need it to bounce. All right, safety above all else. It's okay to give up CS. Yeah, just give some of these up. Give it up. She tried to E-flash, which is something you can do on Ari, but you can't do on Elise. That's a good sign. It probably means that she has low mastery on the champion. Hey, look at good guy Karma helping you with the last hits. Alright, so now you have an item lead. Now you can punish them severely, and they're stuck in this position where they have to push into you. Every time that she goes to try to push even a little bit, you fight back. You only really need to worry about her trying to shove the wave down after she casts her Q. Hmm. Wow. Freeze this. Hold the wave. Ping. Perfect. I would use a biscuit here to have a little bit of preemptive health, since Elise has shown that she's trying to camp.
It's back with them?
Hmm?
I thought they all just backed right now.
It looks like they did. They probably did. And now, right now, freezing is completely deadly. They're going to lose the game based on the power of this. And now you're going to take. Do you remember how when it's time to break this freeze? Do you remember what to do?
Backline, then focus the cannon.
Yeah, backline, then cannon, then melees. Create a stacked up wave, and then shove it back. So we don't want to shove this one. We want to shove the next one because it's right before the 8-minute cannon wave, the 8:30 cannon wave. Perfect. Give her an assist me ping as you approach this wave.
I go hit it now?
I want you to crash this wave. Backline first.
Just want to get my ramps up.
Okay. Yep. Good. We're out. Now, if you're sitting on 400 gold, we wouldn't do this. Right? But with 1300 gold, we've got so much to spend. Stop clicking. Just get to the edge of the fountain and go. When you're at that much gold, you want to come back with the combat stats. And now it was literally impossible for them to get this wave back in your face. They also, even if they had tried to freeze it, they couldn't have because the wave was so big and under their turret that there's no way to stop their wave from stacking up to fight yours. If they kill every single minion and they use like all their spells to do it, they can get the wave back to a 50-50 state. But as you can see right here, you're approaching in time for your next wave anyways. The most you'll ever lose on that play is 3 melees. Alright, start fighting for the wave a little bit. This is perfect. Alright, they're pushing out to you. Did you check items?
Yeah. Don't they have the...
You have a
They
full
had the
pick.
same when they came in the lane, right? Yeah, I came in here.
Right, yep, just making sure. The you want to know you're up a full pickaxe, right? So any fight that happens, 100% you're favored to you. So you want them to have to come to your side of the lane. They are not safe. They might even lose a 3v2 if their Elise comes. That's how big you are. Once Nautilus hits 6, they have a potential to one-shot you. Step back, step back. Karma's leaving. It's worth giving up 1 CS. Watch out, Elise is there. Good. Never presenting a target. Good job.
Was coming through there, so I want to go in, but he's not.
Say it again.
I thought Rumble was coming through there, so I want to go in, but he isn't.
I don't get how that influenced your position. Like, what were you trying to do?
Trying to make the Nautilus want to go in on me.
Never. Well, I'm not gonna say never, but it is largely not worth it. In almost all cases. And at least the way that I want you to train, we're gonna avoid. Oh, this is worth flashing on. There you go. You got him anyways.
Flash. I didn't think I had to.
Hmm?
I said I didn't think I had to.
Yeah, you got him. Good job using the angles to make him press backwards. Good job. Nice job canceling the auto. Beautiful. All right, these plates are yours. Get the plate first. We want the fortification to go down. Good. Good job. A little bit delayed on our back. You didn't need to go quite this far. We could have just gotten our plate and backed off immediately then because the wave's going to come back to us. Stop moving. We haven't like worked on it as a thing, but I want you to start conceptualizing that we're going to step on the last step of the fountain and we're going to leave at 95%. And just let the rest of the healing happen on the walk. We don't need to be full health, and we certainly don't want to be right clicking around. We want to use that time to get information. Hold. You're huge compared to them. You want this lane to stick to you. All right, now you can press. You win this. Good job with the flash. You're much better at this game than they are. Good job.
He didn't miss that. He would have killed me 100%, right?
Yeah, he should have killed you. Out. Not worth.
I was minion blocked. I kept on trying to right click, but the minions forced, like they forced me.
Happens.
Like really, I didn't want to like fight there. I just wanted to run it.
Undo. How much money did you have?
2000.
Can you finish PD?
Okay.
If you can ever finish your second item instead of buying boots, always do that.
Okay.
There's we've talked about a few situations where that's not true, but like those are the exceptions. If you can get 2 full items, you do it. Kazak's got the hint. We're good. Good job. Now you're Jinx versus a Viego, which is a deplorable matchup for him. All right, what happened there?
I got caught.
Why?
I didn't dodge the hook because I thought the minion was still alive.
Nope. Why? Try again.
It's too far out.
Because you presented a target. That's why you died. All right, there's no reason. We need to stop presenting a target there. We do not need to use our skill expression. There's so little to gain and a lot to lose. You are dead to a Nautilus hook every single time. Not hook, Nautilus ult into hook. They have multiple follow-up crowd control effects. Oh, you want to hold this? Don't. All right. That lane, if you froze that right there, their team's done. This lane stops existing for them. Your karma puts a ward in the middle of the lane, and you're never a target for them at all. You can't step up to this right now. You literally actually have to leave this. It's better to just let this freeze and eventually come back to you, rather than like deal with Fog of War with an Elise, Nautilus, Viego. Prioritize Silas if it comes to it. This guy hit the slow. Good job. Good job making him kite. Good job. My man. Throwing it off screen like a G. Now it's fine to go hit that wave.
Why is it fine now?
What's the difference? All right, now we have to watch out for this fight. You've got a teleport coming in. The difference is the number of characters that can join this fight for you versus them. And if you don't get it all the way in, it's gonna get frozen against you. You have to help ping Rumble to help me. After Orange stepped back, you had to leave. So 10 seconds later, the narrative changes. And this is the issue with top lane in general, is it's such a long lane that literally every 5 seconds you have to reevaluate. But in that case where you had just killed Silas, Elise had just flashed away, Silas had no ultimate, Rumble was nearby, Ornn had teleport up, then it's fine. The moment Ornn teleport is down, Rumble starts going bottom, and then Ornn leaves, you have to get out. What do you want to say?
This doesn't feel like that's gonna like do. I don't know. Like, is that really more just gonna make the biggest difference?
100%. You are priority number one for enemy team. They should be making plays to get to you, and if they ever see you alone, or if they think they can catch you, they should and will try. Here we go.
I just don't like it. I feel like I lose so much just by not presenting a target.
That's because you're used to playing against silver and gold players. I'll tell you something that happens in Diamond that doesn't happen, and especially once you get higher, right when you're climbing in Grandmaster, for example, they're gonna blow flash to engage. People don't do that in these games nearly enough. And I'm not talking about Elise flash cocoon that you might dodge. I'm talking about the people who know who should do it, like a Nautilus. Flash ultimate. He's going to use both of them. All right, that top wave is fucked.
Did I hit the last two then, or no?
Yeah. I mean, you shouldn't have been there at all, but going there. Now this wave is pushed out. Now Ornn's going to have to go back into the silos. He's already killing him. Realistically, that wave just doesn't exist for your team right now. You know. All right, here we go. You can do this. You're huge. Nice try. That's not bad for this point of the game, with the Silas being as big as he is. Was that a stopwatch or Zonia's from him?
What was Zonya's?
So like this guy presenting a target, trying to like outskill these guys for no fucking reason.
He's a bad player and he doesn't know what he can do there.
Okay,
Like
and
I
if you,
could kill the guy.
I mean, yes, until you start playing against other people who are all as good as you. Shop, 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 shop. Sorry, I had you talking. Obviously, that screwed up the shop a little bit. I like that you waited till you respawned to buy, but it didn't seem like you were ready for the refillable, so that's on me. Good. I like that you're taking this instead of going mid with everyone in fog. Don't do it. Did you just place your pink ward at the blue buff?
Yes.
What is that pink ward ever going to see?
He won in that area.
Why would they ever be in there?
They have
And
Nautilus.
that pink board is supposed to help you secure objectives. You're not the one that's playing it like just cuz. All right, it's fine. Your team's losing, and half your team wants to concede, which they're wrong to do because you guys are going to outscale this team. But creating a zone of safety is a legitimate strategy, where you guys can play around the fact that your eastern quadrant is quite safe. Good. Good. Focus, Silas. Good. You're good. Great job with the cannons. So good. Ping Baron. You'd have to go mid. Just go mid. Your team split up. Kha'Zix is pushing bot. That's fine. Good job. Max push. Your team's not going. Don't worry about it. Just keep pushing. Push mid. If you get 2 turrets out of this, it's like having a Baron buff anyways. Because you're Jinx, you have enough time for a second turret, but that's it. Elise is up. She'll be here in 12 seconds. Silas is going to have teleport. Get out. This is the bush, by the way, that your team's pinging. That's the bush where your pink ward goes on an ocean map. I'm going to say 95% of the time. Ping mid, end. Your team's not doing it. They're pinging Baron. That's fine. Now Karma left. You can't end it anymore. Getting inhib, though, should be able to open up the Baron for you. The risky play about getting the inhib right here is that you guys are going to be backing. Enemy team's going to go straight to Baron, and you may not have the map pressure to do it. Specifically, no, step back, step back, step back, kite away. Because you need to back as quickly as possible. Don't even hit those. You have to get out. You need to get your shop in.
Karma was there?
What's up?
Could we have ended the game if Karma was there?
The enemy team would stagger their backs or stagger their
Huh?
respawns. They can never. It's really the third person who can actually help them contest you. If your entire team goes full for the push, you can at least break the entire base and then maybe just end. It was close with karma buff and with people actually tanking turrets the way that they don't know how to at this ELO. It's doable. Why are you taking Krugs? Because I'm
Was
talking.
that the wrong? What?
Yeah, I mean, you by giving up mid, you're giving them access to Baron. Pin your team
Wait,
away from this.
I I I don't understand the concept at all.
The team that pushes mid first always has the inner
Yeah, but
track.
don't we want them to go to the Baron because we have Rumble ult, had Rumble ult.
No, you have a broken inhibitor. You guys can take it by force. Good job. You're good. Game's over. Sick carry, dude. Nice job. Just push. Ping assist me for the Kazakhs. Don't worry about it. Saus got his back off. You have to be careful. Good job. Dude, insane fighting mechanics. Absolutely fantastic. Composure, you're moving to the right spaces, you're moving towards your team and away from threats, flashing away from the right stuff. Good stuff.
It just doesn't make sense. Like, if I can kill them in lane, why shouldn't I try to kill them
In lane,
in the game?
um,
Like in the mid lane.
bad
Like
bad practice. Bad practice rehearses bad habits, right? So you are better than most of your opponents, and because you've made 9 different accounts, and because you play as much as you do with friends in like casual games where you're the alpha, you're just always going to be better than everyone else, right? And so you're going to be able to take these risks and get away with them, but you're not going to be able to do this against challenger players. All right. Or if you can do it against challenger players, you're not going to be able to do it against LCS players. Or if you can do it against LCS, you're not going to be able to do it at Worlds. There's going to be a level short of us becoming the best player in the world where there's going to be people better than you, and they will punish these mistakes.
well, if they're better than me, does it matter if I play safe or not? Like, won't they just
Yes.
still beat me?
No. Because you're going to be smarter and better than them. All right. There's no one. There's no one that's going to outthink you on the map. I want you to get these good habits so that when you are on a pro team, that you already have the fundamentals down, that you don't need the full year of training that Afromo insists that his rookie marksmen get, because they don't know the game. They don't know how to play. They know how to move their character and like shoot well, but they don't know how to play the game. They don't know their matchups. They don't know their rotations. They don't know about how to play when Herald is up, when to go mid, how much you can take. And then the better your opponents are, the more organized the response is going to be. So that moment, for example, in mid lane, where you stepped up without a minion wave, the do you know who Cadril is?
No.
Professional player from Europe. He casts now. He's very, very smart. His team used to call that crimes, and you either get arrested for your crimes or you don't. But they are crimes, right? And it's enemy team has the prerogative to arrest you, right? In that
Right.
case, they did, and it was because you thought the minion was going to block the Q. But even if it didn't block a Q, that guy was going to Q to the minion and then R on you anyways. and then you'd be done to the Silas and the or the Viego and the Elise follow up. You see what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So just by presenting a target, especially with a team like that, it was imminent death. They've got too many sources of threats that can collapse on you. Good Elises are going to be in spider form. They're not going to walk around in human form and try to like flash cocoon you from max range. They're going to jump on. They're going to flash, repel onto you, bite you to make sure that they're right next to you. Switch to human and cocoon from point blank, and you're never gonna have a window to react. E/QRE. Boom. Trust me, there's people that can do that in a quarter second. Maybe, I mean, faster.
Can't you just flap out of that?
Hmm?
Can't you flap out of that? Or no?
You will not be able to flash out of a point blank cocoon. Not ever.
No, like right after she Qs.
Okay,
Or
so
is there no channel time between it?
there is no channel time. There's a slight delay on the cocoon cast, but you'd
Mm-hmm.
have to preemptively flash while she's changing into human form, and that's already enough for most players. And plus, they probably have chilling smite, and if they have chilling smite, you're not dodging
Mm.
against a good player. Chilling smite gives enough slow that at least cocoon will always hit. Now that's based on zero ping and a good player. Maybe someone who's playing on 45 or 80, up to 80 ping, and isn't playing perfectly, they might miss. But someone who's playing perfectly, the amount of slow and chilling smite negates enough lateral movement that you cannot dodge a cocoon that's aimed right at your belly button. All right, man. I know I ragged on you a little hard there at the end, but overall that was great. That was the best day. That's the best I've seen you play. Um, and you're gonna be great, man. This is really good. You're doing fantastic. All right, you're gonna
When
take
are
the
you
world by
supposed
storm.
to like play safe?
Huh?
Like, when are you supposed to play safe? Like, is it really worth giving up those? I mean, I guess it does if it prevents
So,
the death, but
so
like,
the amount of times in the second game more than the first. The first game we were stomping by enough that it didn't matter. The second game we were winning trades by enough that we had a health lead that we could punish them. But how many times did I tell you to back up? I want you to rewatch the video. We literally only gave up 3 melees. That's all we gave up. From times where it's like, nope, that one's not worth it. Right? That's like speeding on the highway. It's just like, people go people go 70 and a 65, right? That's just like that's what you do. People go 70. The cops could pull you over. They're not going to do it, but they could, and there's a chance. And if you're going 75, if you're going 76, once you start going more than 10 miles over the speed limit, then they start looking, right? 80, you're in trouble. So, that minion's not you going 100 miles an hour, but that minion's you going 76, right? You'd rather be cruise control in the lane and saying, you know what? I know there's police nearby. Let me just be slower than somebody else. Don't be me that gets caught. Make it someone else. Make them really work for it if they want to get you. When we get to higher levels and people can actually orchestrate dives, that's where that principle about fighting for the CS, for the wave, becomes more important. Right? We talked about it at level 1 and 2. I didn't want to stress the issue while you're in the middle of a game. But to answer you more completely, level 1 and 2, you're trying to do it because you want the wave to be in the perfect spot. You want to hit 2. You want to have a combat advantage, right?
mhm.
Later in laning phase, the reason you have to do it is that they're never crashing a 7 minion wave on your turret. Because if they do, you have to assume that it's because they're bringing their jungler, or that their jungler's already there, and you're basically not allowed to collect your cannon or the rest of the wave. You just have to back. You have to step all the way back to the inner turret. Right? So if they go and they get an advantage from minions and they're able to wipe out, let's say, their entire minion wave Um, they get your wave, and you only killed one melee, and then they're going to bring this entire wave onto your turret. You have to step so far back because they have so much extra health, especially if it's a cannon wave, to tank turrets with, that they might have other people coming around to collapse on you, and you need to be able to play all the way back to your inner turret for safety. That's at much higher levels of play. You don't need to worry about that yet. But the two things that we're going to start looking at once our habits are great is herald rotations at 8 minutes and playing to and against turret dives. How to orchestrate them as a 3 or 4 man composition. You feel me?
Yeah, just
Dude, you did great today. Here's what I want you to picture. You're like Mike Tyson right now, throwing punches in the ring against people that don't stand a chance against Mike Tyson. Okay? And this might be a bad example because everyone was worse than Mike Tyson. But he was the hardest hitter and the best defensive boxer, which meant people never had a chance against him. Right? There are just moments where you like, you know what? I'm not going to unload everything in this punch, or I'm not even going to go for the punch right here because there's a chance that he might hit me back. Instead, I'm going to wait for the moment where there is no counterplay, or where if we're going to brawl, I already have this step up, and then I'm stronger and faster than you, and I will beat you up anyways. Do you see how that relates to League of Legends terms?
mm-hmm.
It's we don't need to constantly be throwing punches. We want to throw the right punches and score the technical knockout and the knockout.